So you're Frank.
And you're Frank.
And together we are Frankly Speaking.
Your party at the door, bring it open mind. Oh, mind. Past the sound bites, truth where we explore. Frankly Speaking, that's what this mic is for. Frankly Speaking, let's go open the door. Frankly Speaking, you can't ask for more. Frankly Speaking.
Hey. Here we are.
What's
Once
happening?
again, the fearsome foursome.
There we are.
Yes. Hey, folks, this is a new week. We're welcoming you here to Frankie's house. And here he is. Frankie, how are you?
Yeah. How are you, Frank?
I'm not too good now.
But we're frankly speaking.
Oh, boy. Anyway, we've got a lot of things going on today.
We do.
And, how was your week so far, Bridget? Bridget got new. She got some stuff coming out this weekend.
Check.
You're going to play, do some video shoot.
Yeah. So I have a video shoot that I'm filming on the 12th.
Right.
For a song that's coming out on October 17th.
Man.
Yeah, that's it's called Don't Waste My Time.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm excited about filming that, and I just got a little bit of new equipment. I know that you know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I wanted to say she
Yeah.
got a new microphone.
Yeah, I got a new microphone.
That is serious
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm excited to use
Yeah.
it.
Must have somebody that really loves you.
Yeah.
And what kind of mic is it?
It's Loughton Audio.
Loughton Audio.
There you go.
Right. You got a Loughton.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good stuff.
Yeah, it's worked good.
Now,
It's
I was
like-
going to say, have you used it?
I have, yeah. I had the same exact model. I just got a brand new one.
Oh.
I was having a little issues with the last one. It dropped, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's why when I see somebody says something about a mic drop, I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, what are you doing?
Wasn't the good kind.
From a singer standpoint, it's like, no,
Yeah.
don't do that.
Right.
Crazy.
But she's going to be doing an Ever Ready Diner, right? This
Yeah, Ever Ready Diner.
Sunday?
Are
Yeah.
you looking for people to come up there?
We are. We're
Yeah,
actually,
that'd be great.
Yeah. Anybody with old cars or you want to dress up like 60s, 70s, you want to come up there and we're at 2:00. Going to start shooting, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
If you
it's
want to
good
maybe
later.
be in a video, I think it'd be a good idea to come up Ever Ready Diner right in Hyde Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would come on up
That's
and
right.
get you in that video. And
Are
then
you
after
going to
that,
be in there?
Of course. Well, I'm not
man.
really. I'm
Zoot
going to be in the around. Yeah. I don't know. I think they had the tracksuits. I think that was the 80s with Run DMC. So.
Yeah, right.
little-
So I don't know.
That's
I'll be in the back helping out,
Okay.
getting things set. This is her show, and that's what I want.
I was gonna
we want to
say.
keep it like that. She's actually going to be performing with another artist. They're going to be shooting a video. So we're looking for like some old cars, some people that want to come. So you can be in the background. It'd be a real fun time. And then afterwards, we'll be at Joseph's Steakhouse in Hyde Park around 6, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
So if you want to come there, they'll be doing karaoke and whatnot too. But we're going to do a lot of filming there later on that evening, right? So it'd be good. So if you want to come out, you can.
What about the boat? We don't get a chance to get on the boat?
Yeah, I think the boat is more exclusive.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a 300-person boat, so
It's not
I
a
don't-
yacht.
Yeah, it's not a
All
yacht.
right,
It's-
so-
Yeah.
But it's actually Joe from Joseph's Steakhouse. We're using his boat.
Yeah.
So we're
Oh,
gonna be shooting right on his boat. We got some really great people. They're gonna come out and be a part of it. So I'm really excited for you, and it's gonna be awesome this weekend. This Saturday at what time again?
At 1:30 at Ever Ready Diner.
1:30. Ever Ready
That's when we're
Diner.
gonna-
Yeah, next to the old rink, where hopefully my boy Donato is gonna be hooking that place up.
Donato.
Donato. Yeah, that's
Hey.
Tina Pizza. Donato.
I was going to say, isn't today brought to the people by
So
Tina?
I will tell you, today is our very first actual podcast that we have a guest on, and it is brought to you by, we have sponsors, TJ's Pizza in Poughkeepsie, and we also have Mag Auto in Poughkeepsie. TJ's Pizza is located at 595 Main Street, Poughkeepsie, and Mag Auto is on 695 Dutchess Turnpike, right by the Dark Side Records. And I got to tell you, you want a used car, you got to go by right by Mag Auto. These guys are absolutely amazing, and they will help you out if you have any issues or problems. You got to understand they're used cars, so there's always hiccups and stuff like that. But they are great. They're a great organization to help you get financed, even if you don't have credit. So stop by Mag Auto.
I bought my VWT one.
There you go.
They were
Is it
amazing.
good? Oh, that's
Amazing.
awesome,
I
right?
love my car.
You see Poppy down there? That's my boy, Poppy.
He hooked me up. Yeah.
Now, while we're on you, Monica gets a set of bowls I'm not talking about bowls going out to, let's say, Happy Habits, but she goes and she gets a set of singing bowls this weekend. Was it this weekend? It was during the week.
During the week.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. Yeah, she got a set of
I was
bowls.
very excited.
And she also, and we won't bring this up yet, but she's got a triangle that you tang on that. And oh my gosh, the sounds that come out of that. So we had a little therapy the other night and it was awesome. So anything else you want to say about your escapades this
I'm
week?
just really excited about that, and that I'm going to be doing sound baths pretty soon. So I'm going to get all the information that I can on that and practice.
Nice.
And we're going to have our first one here. Maybe somebody who can call in wants to join us.
And it's not
Well,
it's not a wet bath. It's something that you can bring your clothes and stay in your clothes, and you don't have to worry about anything else. But it is beautiful.
not
I
just
can't
beautiful.
believe those bowls.
It's not just beautiful. It actually does have healing frequencies that will help your cells heal, and lots of healing properties in sound.
And we know you're all about healing, Monica. I love you are. She's got a lot of great stuff. And I heard that triangle, and the first thing I want to do is hang it over my bed to put
And
me to
then
sleep
buy
at
one.
night. I started looking on Marketplace right away. It was like $60-$70 for a used one, but it was really cool. It was that was a really neat thing. So let's get going. So
Wait. I wanted to say one more thing.
Oh, go ahead,
This
yeah.
guy's always in a rush, always wanting to get places.
I love the
Frank is
I get
asking
things
me.
done. Boom,
we
boom,
got,
boom.
We got a whole camera set up, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the camera. And we're down 2 cameras, but we've got this set up, and we're learning. So during it, please excuse our what do they call it? Our lack of
Trials and errors.
no. When you're not too
Technical
clean.
difficulties?
No, technical difficulties. But remember the table last week. You remember the table
Look how nice the
last
table
week?
is, frankly
Look at how
speaking.
nice this table is. We got a shout out going out to Vinny, my boy, Vinny Pinstripe down in Portchester. I work for these guys, and this table was originally, well, if you saw it last week, it was a little decrepit.
It looked good in person, but
Look,
Decrepit.
Frankie wanted to use it. I said, okay.
I like the worn look.
He liked the war-torn look.
I got some comments. They were like, "Buddy, where'd you find?"
Yeah.
Have you guys been having a podcast for 30 years? Looks like,
So we upgraded that, and this is the product of that.
looks great. Looks great. Really.
And I think that was pretty much all I wanted to say about that.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. That's
But
awesome.
outside of that, I think we're pretty much ready to.
Well, let's start with
it.
the community news. She's gonna
Oh shit!
right. We're gonna start
Okay,
talking
yeah.
about what's
Threw me
going on in the
off. You
community.
threw me
Oh,
off.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
So
happens.
I have 2 things. It's one's a really nice a nice story. So there's a local family in the Hudson Valley. They're on Kerr Road. I don't exactly know where Kerr Road is, but I think it's Dutchess
like-
County.
The old Bed Bath and Beyond where
Okay.
Panera Bread is.
So
I know
they
that because
have
my last name's-
Apparently a big Halloween display that is just out there for everyone to see. There's 148 pieces, and it's supposed to be a beautiful Halloween display. So
Well, that's cool.
that's
We'll have
just
to
one
check
thing
that
that's
out.
like a nice and light part of news. But then the other
That's a
one,
good part of news.
the other one I wanted to discuss was last week. I don't remember exactly what day it was, but
That was cool.
that was cool.
That's confirmation.
Oh, was that a like?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so last week, this is a little bit heavier. There was a boy, young man, 22 years old, who got shot in Poughkeepsie on, I believe, Maine. Yeah, the corner of Maine and Garden. He was 22 years old. He was from Hyde Park. He was found with multiple gunshot wounds, and he was later pronounced dead at Mid-Hudson Regional. It looked like the 2 people who shot him had gotten away on bicycle. I haven't heard anything. If anybody else heard anything,
Yeah, we'd love for you to
about-
report it. Call
Yeah.
your local police department.
they said you can call in anonymous tips. You can call if you have any information about it. I don't know if there are updates and I don't know them. You can feel free to put them in the comments about it. But yeah, so I mean, I wanted to touch on the violence that's going on in Poughkeepsie because it is ongoing. Sometimes it seems like it's kind of lessening, and then other times it seems like it's prevalent. Don't you think?
Well, the one thing I've learned about things like this that happen is it seems like they're isolated incidents, right? It's not like you're going around every day and people are getting shot or getting killed and stuff like that. I'll just tell you a quick story. Is like when I actually lived on Garden Street in Poughkeepsie, and this is when I learned this lesson. I was constantly I had multiple properties in that area and constantly getting break-ins into cars, into apartments, and everything like that. And one day I actually personally caught the guy breaking into my car. It was a young kid. I caught the kid. And after I caught him, I brought him to the police station on foot from Garden Street. It was right around the corner. It wasn't too far. It was kind of in a headlock too. But, but anyway, but after that happened, it all stopped. So when you think about that, right? So like you can be like, everyone that was in that area is, oh, this is such a bad area. It's like, it's constant crime. It was one person that was causing all that crime. So what I say is like, it's not always just the area, it's the person doing it. Like the Poughkeepsie itself is a great area. I mean, there is so much diversity in Poughkeepsie. And there's a lot of ongoing, like people are trying to improve it. I mean, Yvonne is, working really hard at trying to come up with solutions to our homeless problem, to crime, to, everything that's happening in Poughkeepsie. But it's not that easy. It's not just like you say, oh, well, let's just put more police out there.
Right.
Well, then you got to come up with funding. I mean, there's a lot of things that happen. And believe me, they are hard at work. Nobody wants to live in a city where you got to worry about getting shot. Right. Or getting robbed or getting, hurt or getting in and out of your car. We love it back in I remember when Up to Date was back. I mean, I was a little kid, was on the main mall in Poughkeepsie. That's right. And it was a great place to come and shop. And I never even heard of there being issues like that or problems. But, unfortunately, it's just the times, that's where we are and it's happening. And it's just sad. And if we can get rid of those few bad apples, I think this place really wouldn't be that bad.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
You going?
Yes.
Bridget's
I'm gonna
off.
step off.
Bridget's
now.
going.
Yeah, we're going to bring
Step
our
up.
guest.
No, not quite yet. I want to say one thing.
Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your podcast.
Can I mention about Lynn Versace and her thing going on this weekend?
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
She has she has something going on.
She's
this weekend,
got there's some kind of a fundraiser for her out there. Lynn, how are you doing?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And I guess there's 10 bands. It's at the pickleball
Where's that going to be at?
establishment. You know where the pickleball establishment is.
I don't.
You haven't been there yet?
Never been there.
It's down. Where is that? In the old Christmas
it's
tree
where
shop?
the old Christmas tree shop
Thank you.
was. It's
Okay.
right next to ShopRite. And
On Route 9, South Hills Mall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
they have a bar there. They have bands all the time. They're going to have bands all day
There's
long.
like 10 bands. I think it's the most bands that have ever been assembled in one area in Poughkeepsie.
Oh, nice.
Open cash bar and food. So
A
from 11 o'clock
Lollapalooza in the
morning-
middle of Poughkeepsie.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right.
Somewhere to go
So,
if I want to play some pickleball. So,
Okay.
wait, Monica, you had a couple things, though, first.
I have a
real
whole
quick,
bunch
right?
of things if anybody's interested in the music that's going on.
What's going on this weekend?
Ethan Levy at Divine Wine Bar in Wappingers, James Patrick at Pamela's on the Hudson in Newburgh, Breach the Asylum and Duchess Sports Bar and Barbecue, Chosen Adolescents and at Juan Murphy's, Y2K Chaos at Pickleball. There's a whole bunch of them. So
There
many.
you go.
Jungle Love at Barton Orchards. I think Barton Orchards is doing a thing this weekend too.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Okay, nice.
Steve Black is also going to be there. Let's see. Nashville Nights Band at Daryl's house. Skin and Bones at Juan Murphy's on Saturday.
I've heard them. Skin and Bones, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And Juan Murphy's is definitely one of my favorites.
Yes, yes.
I
definitely.
love that.
Circle 65 in Marlboro, Ben Marl Winery. There's a birthday bash. No, Birthday Bash is the name of the band at Garage Bar and Grill in Marlboro. So I wanted to mention also Kristen, who does the Vet to Vet concerts and the fundraisers. This is her time right now. So on Sunday, October 12th, Kickstart Lynn's Heart is at Pickleball.
oh my
That's the one we were
gosh.
talking
Did I
about.
steal your thunder?
Well, kind of.
I didn't
But that's
know.
all right. I'm going
That's
through
just
it.
always the case. Such a bad boy.
See how
So-
easy she took it, though, Frank?
Yes, well, I will see some fireworks later.
Yeah,
Well,
you got to
you know.
learn.
Yeah,
I gave you
gotta learn.
the breakdown.
Oh
too,
boy,
but that's all
breakdown.
right.
You didn't look at it.
You wing it all
I
the time.
apologize. You know that.
All right.
So Ginger's Revenge will be from 11 to 12:15. Pandemonium from 12:45 to 2. Sucker Punch, Jukebox Junkies, Circle 65. There's a acoustic acts, Natasha B Duo, Bianca and Jeff, Jenny Angel, Big Ange and Trish Paulo.
Yeah.
5:30 and 6.
A lot of people we know.
Hurricane Annie, 7:30 to 8. So
Awesome.
a lot of things are going. So it's from 11 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock at night. It's a fundraiser to help Lynn Versace in her recovery.
To get
from
back
heart
on the
surgery.
horse and ride into the legislature.
There
again.
you go. There you go. Okay,
right.
so let's so Frank, who do we have coming on tonight?
I would like to say we have discussion about suicide prevention, suicide in general, some of the
deep
causes and so forth.
Yep.
And Joanne Whitmore is our guest. That is going to be
Come
walking
on
to
over,
the table.
Joanne. Come on in. Have a seat. Here.
This is the first time this ever happened. It's our first guest.
Hi, everybody.
Hang on, just throw these on here. And you can.
We got to figure out something about that little ding dang.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's every week we're gonna go.
Yeah,
a little better. I think
yes,
it was
yes.
that rubber thing, and we got to put in here.
A little rubber. Little rubber never hurt anybody.
Might keep you from having somebody.
Right.
My headphones don't work, by the way. That's why
Oh.
it took 'em.
Oh,
It's all right.
yeah, that's all good.
I could still hear.
Did they ever? That's a good question.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Bridges were had a problem
Interesting.
too. Can you hear through your headphones?
I can hear you.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
awesome.
So let's tell us who you are and like what do you do?
Okay, so I'm Joanne Whitmore. I do suicide prevention and awareness. I'm an advocate with multiple organizations. So what I do is I could take phone calls, text messages, or video calls with people who are depressed and feel like, you know, they're in a desperate time and they need someone to talk to. I also will get calls from family members that say that they're afraid about, you know, one of their loved ones or a friend, and I can usually reach out to them as long as there's permission and it's okay. And sometimes I even get dispatched out to active cases where someone is threatening to talk to them to help stop them from doing what it is that they're trying to do.
All right, so I'm going to ask you a couple questions here, if you don't mind. Here, Frank, I'm going to hop right in.
That's
so
you.
we're going to talk about a little background. So can you tell me a little bit about your background and what first led you to get involved with suicide prevention work?
Well, I have a nursing background, couple of different degrees in that, couple specialties. So I was a bedside nurse for a long time. I did labor and delivery in NICU. So many times we had moms come in that were so depressed because of postpartum depression, but what a lot of people don't realize is the depression starts before the baby's even born. So it was really hard going through that. And I had my own personal experiences, and that's really where it lifted off for me. I was really depressed. I did it myself. I survived, and I wanted to be able to help people not do that and not feel it, because I know how bad it was. And I wish that people took the way I was feeling seriously, because I was throwing off all the signs. And I'm not saying that it's anybody's fault. I did it. But if people are more aware and they know what to look for, it could.
I do believe that a lot of people, if they haven't experienced it themselves, that they probably know someone that has gone through this problem or this issue. You know, even myself personally, not only knowing people that have done it or tried to do it, but having some personal issues when I was younger, and thank God we were able to overcome that. You know, maybe we'll talk about that a little later in the show. But so, what misconceptions do you think people often have about suicide and mental health?
Oh, there's a lot of those. Well, the one I hate the most is that when somebody says that they're depressed or they want to end their life, people will say they just want attention. They don't really mean it. They just want attention.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to be in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
If they're saying it because they want attention, don't automatically assume that. You're talking about a life.
Yeah.
Once it's done, can't take it back.
Mm-hmm.
Another misconception is that teenagers and college students are the highest demographic when they're not. It's males ages 75 and older are the highest demographic for suicide in the United States.
Why do you think that is?
Because as men get older, it's more difficult for physical pain, physical ailments, seeing themselves get older. If their relationships with their wives start to go bad, or their significant other, whoever their significant other is, friends have died. At around that time, a lot of your friends have died. Your family. It's very difficult later on in life. You have lost a lot, even though you've done a lot and you've gained so much. At that age, they feel so much loss, and women do too, with men. But
I want to just say that my father was, he lived a long, long time, 93. But there was a time where my mom passed away 3 years ago, and it was like, what else did he have to live for to a certain extent? I often told him that he's his own person. He has his own sovereignty.
right,
But what I felt was that that was a tough time for him. Lonely, very lonely.
very.
Yeah, I work with the elderly, and I have witnessed that many times, that they get sick and they don't like being cared for. So I have to maintain their dignity and still honor them as men. And it's very hard for them. You could see the sadness even when they're, they have dementia or really not there. You could see their sadness in their eyes.
Yeah, it's really hard.
It's rough.
Yeah. So let's say, what are some of the warning signs that you might see if someone was,
well,
contemplating?
I would say, let's see. We do a P4 screening, so if there's a history of past attempt, if they have a plan that you know of, their probability of success and preventative factors. But a big one is if they start giving their stuff away out of nowhere, extreme happiness out of nowhere, sense of relief, feeling like, oh, finally everything's okay, but it doesn't make any sense.
I wouldn't have thought of that. That's extreme happiness.
That's a big one. Obsessing about death, always talking about it. I'm not going to wear my seatbelt tomorrow, and I want to go really fast on that highway. I've always wanted to drive 85 miles an hour, so I'm going to do it. I'm just going to go as fast as I can. Or if they're drinking or they're at a party, they're like, oh, I'm going to drive my motorcycle afterwards. It's going to be fun. I'll be fine. Or just talking about death in general. Watching movies that contain death, especially suicide.
Yeah.
There's a couple of really popular ones. A Star is Born, Country Strong. Both of those, I hope I'm not spoiling this for anybody who hasn't seen the movies, but those are big. Being exposed to it goes right along with that. If you know someone personally that's done it, believe it or not, it could be a risk factor. So watch how they're acting, how they're reacting to it.
So if you're a family member and you're concerned that you think there's something going on, how do you start that conversation without, overstepping your boundaries?
You don't overstep.
Yeah.
You don't overstep. The only time you overstep is when you start judging them incorrectly. But if you feel that someone is truly at risk, you look them right in the eyes. Are you feeling like you want to hurt yourself? Do it. Start the conversation. Don't be afraid to hurt their feelings, because that's not what it's about. It's about saving their lives. Not only that, if you're upfront with them and you immediately say, are you thinking of killing yourself? They feel that they can trust talking to you because you're okay saying it and asking about it.
So is there a type of dialogue that you think that is more effective? Because, we're all different.
Yep.
And I suppose that the more honest you are and the more real you are with somebody, that's probably the best way, do you think? And is there any type of dialogue that you think that would be maybe better than most or a little bit more effective?
I think the best way to do it is, judge the person. If it was a complete stranger, and I talk to strangers a lot, so I usually just come right out and say, are you thinking about harming yourself? If you are, have you thought about a way? And if you don't want to come out and say it right away, if you want me to just sit here and be silent, I will. And when you're ready, we'll talk about it. but we're not leaving the table till we talk about it.
Yeah, I just want to say if there's anybody out in the audience right now that wants to ask any questions, we are monitoring the screen here. And so if anybody has a question for Joanne, please feel free to chime in.
So this one is for somebody who's actually feeling hopeless.
Okay.
What are some of the effective coping strategies or resources that people can turn to when they're feeling hopeless?
Well, the first one I always say is 988. You could text it, you can call it.
I've
It's
never heard that. I'm glad that we got
988,
that.
Yeah.
On any cell phone?
On any cell phone, 988 send,
988 send.
or 988 text to them. And someone will get a hold of you immediately. You will be put on live with someone immediately. It's not like the Dutchess County Helpline, which
Never
I'm
heard of it.
sorry,
Have you heard
I
of that?
hate it.
What,
I hate
988?
the Dutchess County Helpline.
No, I did not. Dutchess
They
County.
will put you on hold.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dutchess County Helpline. That's why 988. That's why we've come out with
You
988.
serious?
It's
I had
It's
a
like calling
situation.
911 and getting on hold. It's like, whoa.
yeah.
I don't know about Dutchess County, but I know that we had a situation. I don't want to go into the nuts and bolts of who it was or any of that.
Right.
But I mean, mental health help. It's got to be tough on both sides of the fence. I get that, but when you're in that level of despair, and suicide is almost a done deal at one point where you've said, hey, you may still not want to die, but you've actually crossed over the line where you're making that decision to go forward with it. And at that point, or at points before that, it's really tough when you get somebody else on the other end of the line that doesn't have the skills to deal with that. I mean, you were talking earlier about 4 hours on the phone or on a video, or 4 days on a video.
Yeah. There are people that I've talked to on the phone where I would do a video call with them, and I would literally stay and just watch them sleep while they slept. And I was there when they woke up so I could talk to them, because I didn't trust hanging up the phone. And that's the commitment I make. I know that that's part of the job. But
Wow.
one of the scariest things, and I really want everybody to listen to this, suicide is incredibly impulsive. This is not something that somebody's going to put on their calendar and say, I'm going to do this next Thursday because that's the day I want to do it. No, it's usually very impulsive. Not always, usually, which means they can't see in front of them at that moment. They can't see that they have a future. They don't see that it can get better. They don't see that the pain will stop. Their life is over at that moment, and that's all that matters. So don't tell them, oh, but you have so much to live for. Your life could be so much better, because nothing can get worse for them at that moment, and they don't see anything happening to get better. Teenagers are the most at risk for impulsivity on that, because they can't make sense of why everything that's going wrong with them is happening. So it's even harder for them to have critical thinking and say, I'm going to hurt my family. I'm going to hurt my friends. What am I going to do to my friends? But adults, they do have a little bit more know-how, but it's still incredibly impulsive. It's, where somebody will drive somewhere, they'll get out of the car and they'll do it. They'll go in the drawer, they'll take what they need to, and they're going to do it. They're not going to sit there and stew over it and stew over it and stew over it.
Hey, are there any questions on there from?
I'm looking down
Oh,
here.
okay. I didn't know if you were checking them or not.
I got it covered.
All right, no, I'm just checking. No, I'm looking at the
I got it
screen. I
covered,
didn't know if you
brother.
had it on there.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah, Frankie.
So I wanted to ask. So, are there any organizations that you would recommend for, let's say, someone that's even on the fence about it, or if they know someone where they were concerned about them being, being suicidal? I mean, me off the top of my head, I would think Mental Health America. That's the only thing that I really know. MHA. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're
I'm
a
sure there's
resource.
plenty of resources, but I just you don't know, and I'm sure that if a person is going through this, as a lot of us I think have, you're not thinking about that because we don't know. Where do you get this information from unless it's already happened?
That's what we're trying to
Right.
keep doing.
I mean, the only time I heard about this is after it happened. I had a friend of mine, poker player years ago, jumped off a bridge in New York City and he survived. It's a crazy story because what he does now for a living is he sells life insurance through State Farm, which is unbelievable. I mean, it's a great way to sell it. I mean, I don't want to make light of the situation, but and I'm so glad he survived. But when we talk every once in a while, I mean, we're still friends. This happened years ago. And I try not, I don't talk that much about it, you know, but because he seems real good now and everything else. But I know he went through a big, he lost a lot of money. He was a big poker player and lost a lot of money. And then it all happened. I don't know all the details, but I remember when I first heard it, I was going, damn, man, like, God. I mean, we've all had money and lost money, but what? I mean, you could make more, you know, like it's just, I wish, and I was, you know, I try to talk a little bit about it, but it's hard to have the conversation.
It
I mean,
is.
I have a good friend of mine who lost a family member not too long ago. And we started talking about, he's like, he doesn't really want to speak about it. And I told him tonight what was going on. And it's like, nobody really wants to talk about it. But that's what I think the problem is.
Yes.
If we can put it on the table, be raw and be like, hey, listen, we've all had suicidal thoughts at some point. I mean, I could tell you, I'll tell you a quick personal experience real quick. So when I have two children. When I was 20 and 21 years old, I have a son and a daughter, Brandon and Miranda. And I remember growing up, I grew up with my mother and father not being together. He was a weekend father, you know, but he was a great dad. And I swore I was never going to have kids without being married. I said, you know, this is what I'm going to do. I am not going to be a weekend father. I'm going to get married, have the house, the dog, the fence, you know, the car, and, you know, all of that stuff. And here I was, 21 years old with two kids by two different women. And I thought my life was over. I'm not kidding. And at the time I was dating this other girl, you know, I was all over the place when I was 21 years old. Still am. Well, I'm settled down now. I'm in a great spot.
No,
I am in a
he's
great
settled
spot.
down.
No, I am definitely settled down. I'm in a great spot right now. But I'm 21, and I'll tell you the truth. What happened was I drove my car down by the river, and I went out to the middle of the Mid-Hudson Bridge, and I contemplated jumping off that bridge. And I mean, I told like two other people this story before, but and I had no balls to do it. I wasn't doing it. I knew then, as soon as I got out there, I had no real intention. But the fact that it crossed my mind, I was like, damn, man, I can't believe I'm even out here. But then I'll tell you, it was about 3 months later, I was going through some real bad stuff. I mean, with my relationship in life, I mean, finances, everything. And I drove out, I went over the bridge, parked at that little section on the other side of the bridge, you could pull over, and I ran out to the middle of the bridge with the intention of jumping off that bridge. And the only thing that saved me, and I'm glad that I feel like I'm an intelligent person, you know, and I mean, I can think. And I thought about for a moment, I said, okay, if I do this, like what's going to happen? And I thought about the people that I was really upset about are just going to move on with their life. And the people that really cared about me are going to be devastated. I thought about my mother, my father, my sisters, my brother, and then I thought about my kids growing up without a father. And then honestly, what I thought about was this movie I saw, and it was like a spoof. It was kind of like a comedy thing about somebody died accidentally, went to heaven, and God said you can go back, but you had to go back in a different body. And so that's what I did. I talked myself into saying, listen, I am going to go back. And I'm going to get off of this bridge and I'm going to die tonight and I'm going to start my life over. And I did. I went down and I talked myself out of it. Thank God I did, right? I wouldn't be here right now with all of you. I mean,
Helping
great
other
friends.
people with your story.
Or people telling the story, which hopefully it might save somebody, you know? And I took off like a bat out of hell. I opened up, I had to open up a store, went into the Galleria Mall, made lots of money, had multiple properties. I mean, like everything was going great. Obviously, there's been some things that's happened that haven't been that great in life, but I mean, like my life just took off. And all I did was basically I said, today I'm gonna die. I'm gonna kill the old me, and I'm gonna start my life over. Because I'm here at 21 years old. I was like, you know, top of the world. I was in shape. I was good looking. I was making money.
He was.
So good looking.
I was good.
He was.
No, but I mean, like, just life was, I was like, here it is, I'm starting, and I already have a brain, though. You know,
Yeah.
it's not like starting life over. Like, here it is, I already have a little bit of, you know, I'm in a position where I can make money. I'm smart enough. I met Frank. Frank's, you know, made all my logos for my store. So he's part of the reason why I was successful back in GQ Fashion days. But I had friends like that, too. And all of that went through my mind of knowing all these people and thinking, like, people like Frank would be devastated. Hey, maybe, you know, maybe I didn't do the right thing by it. Maybe, you know, I thought about all the people that would be affected by it. And I don't think that everybody has that coping mechanism.
They don't.
And I'm hoping that I hope somebody sees this and I could save at least one. You know, where they say, you know what? I remember that time Frankie said, now look where Frank is now in his life.
Right.
Look where he is. Look how many people he helps every year. And if I would have took my life, how many people wouldn't eat on Thanksgiving Day? How many people wouldn't see Santa Claus or, you know, have all of these different things? So I'm just thankful that that happened. And I'm hoping that we can talk about this as live and as real as it could possibly be. And I told that story because I want to be real. And the reason I told that story down at a hospital, it was down in New York. This guy had sent me down there because he couldn't make it. He asked me to go. It was his daughter's birthday, and she was in a rehab. And I don't know why I decided to tell it, but I told that story because I was worried about her committing suicide, honestly. And I remember everyone staring at me, looking at me like, bro, the girl's brother was a cop, and he's like, is that made up? He's like, because that sounded too crazy, like too good to be true. I was like, no, that's the real deal. That's what happened to me. I mean, I really did do it.
The
So
fear of talking about it has to stop.
it's got to stop. We
has
got to
to.
be able to put things on the table and say, hey, listen, look, we all go through mental breakdowns. I've done it today. You know,
Pride has to be put aside. It has to be put aside.
and talk about it. You
Yeah.
know, let's get it going.
Well, a lot of people think that if you talk about it, it's going to make more people do it. That's
No,
not true.
that is not
Talking
true.
about it, spreading awareness, that is what's going to, that someone's going to remember that.
Yeah.
If we don't have this conversation right now and someone could have been watching it and we saved them and we decided not to do it because we were worried we were going to cause it to happen, we would have lost a life because we didn't do it,
Yeah.
not because we did it. So,
Well, I
big
like that.
difference.
I think it's tough to look. We have some friends, and it's tough for me to look into their eyes and not feel the pain
Yeah.
that they feel themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel it myself every day. At any given moment during the day, I can get in a dark spot, but I'm not ashamed to say that every day I hit that dark spot at some point.
Yeah, it's tough. Somebody mentioned we need more mental health in the U.S. And
Agreed.
I started talking about it earlier about, like, you know, we blame a lot on guns. We blame a lot on outside situations. And in a lot of cases, we never get to the core of what the real issues are. And I know that you deal with this on a much, much more frequent basis than I do. And I'm looking at it from out here. I think that how would you view that? That we don't, in a lot of cases, get to the core of what we really need to in order to help people.
We don't.
And it's not just as far as suicide. It's a lot. None of it's mild, but some of it's not nearly as acute as somebody who's going to kill themselves. But there's other things that are going on that I think we need to kind of find the root of the issues.
There's a lot of them. You know, a lot of people think that most people that say it really don't mean it. And I mean, let's be real with ourselves. Healthcare in America right now, it's going nowhere. If anything, it's going down.
What is that? What did you say?
Healthcare in America.
Healthcare.
So
I think we're like 20. I saw some crazy stat that America's like 22nd in the world.
Yeah,
as
we're
far as
bad.
healthcare.
We're really bad.
How's that even possible?
And mental health care has dropped off significantly. And one of the big reasons is because it's so difficult to keep mental health practitioners because they don't maintain their own mental health in the interim so they can stay in the field and help more people. But what a lot of people do, what I think they need to do is everybody needs to start taking accountability.
Yeah.
Everybody can help each other in a mental health way.
Yeah.
If I look at you and I know you're sad, I'll talk to you. I'll ask you about it. Do that with each other. Look at your friends, look at your loved ones, check in on them. If you haven't heard from them in 24 hours, but you know that they call you after dinner every day at 5:30 and you haven't heard from them, you know it's got to be going through your mind like, hey, I wonder why I didn't hear from them today. Pick up the phone and call. Come up with a code word with families and with your family and friends. Anyone.
Wow.
Anything. Mine is 8 minutes. That's people that I've talked to in the past, friends, it's 8 minutes. If they text me 8 minutes, I know what it means. And that means I stop what I'm doing and I promise to give them 8 minutes at least.
Wow.
Yeah, I've done that with my friend.
And if it's 8 minutes, it's 8 minutes. If it's 8 seconds, it's 8 seconds. And if it turns into 8 days, it's 8 days. But they're alive.
Right.
Hey, I'm willing to actually put that out to all of my friends. If any of you ever feel any kind of way and you need 8 minutes from me, you text me 8 minutes, and I will stop what I'm doing. I will.
I
mean,
second that.
I love that actually. That's a really cool thing.
He'll do
because-
it. For sure.
Yeah, I'll give you 8 minutes. I mean, I got quite, it might be 8 minutes from the 8 minutes, but I will give you 8 minutes. I will do my best, but I will definitely, I love that though. That's a really great thing, man. I mean, and here we are learning things. I didn't know about that 988 thing. Someone had just texted me that too, that they had heard about that. Just like the 211. I mean, do you guys know what 211 is or no?
I used to. I know. I don't remember, but I've heard it.
Yeah, so 211 is basically it's a hotline in Dutchess County where it's just a resource center. So for food, for shelter, or any of that stuff, they know all the. I was actually one of the people as listed as a resource when I wasn't really a resource, but they kept calling me because during COVID we did a lot of stuff with food, but afterwards they thought I was a food bank. So so like people would call me and how do I say no? So and they still do to this day, and we still try to get people food. I just sent food to somebody yesterday and I want to thank Donato from T&F Pizza for helping me with that. I had a family in Hyde Park and he sent them food last night. So Donato, thank you. I appreciate that. But I will say lots of people have done that for me. Jay from Madison's has done it in Pleasant Valley. Sammy from TJ's have done it. The boys are down at Emiliano's Pizza. They've sent food out. I remember Joel, that was back in the day. That was the other pizza, Amici's. But a lot of friends of mine have done it. I had Jerry at Tiramisu on New Year's Day. He would give out trays and trays of free food. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people that do it. But I mean, like, hey, listen, open up a little bit. You got to help people. I mean, we're all people at the end of the day. And some people are struggling. And I will say there are some people that abuse and use the system.
They do.
But how do you distinguish that? If the person has 3 kids at home and they're asking you for food, I mean, it's not like they're asking you for a car.
Right.
Or $1 million. I mean, it doesn't cost that much to do it. And I get it. If it's repetitive, it might get a little annoying, but we got to be able to reach out and help one another.
Absolutely.
I mean, and I love that. And that brings me into our Thanksgiving event we have coming up. We do at Mag Auto every year, and we're going to start collecting cans and non-perishable goods. If anybody wants to get involved in that, you could start collecting, and then you can reach out to me, and we'll get it all together for you. But we give them out usually the Sunday before Thanksgiving, and then Thanksgiving Day we do cooked meals. We down at we're probably going to do it again at the Underwear Factory again this year, but not at the or either at our Family Services in Poughkeepsie.
Did you want to say something to Joanne? Didn't you have something to
I wanted
add?
to say that I've been there too, and
Get a little bit closer to your mic, just for the record.
yeah, I've been there too, and I've realized through my own experiences what helps me, and if anybody doesn't want to reach out, or they don't have anyone around, what helped me was just really sitting with it and knowing that there's ebbs and flows in life. And you may be in a tough place, but sit with it. Sit with it as if you're sitting with your child. Sorry, I get emotional.
Don't you make me cry. I was trying so hard not to this whole time.
So you sit with yourself and you sit with that feeling and just learning to really love yourself without having to count on anyone else is really key. Once you learn that, you can really get out of anything.
Yeah. Distraction is huge. Grounding methods. Deep breaths, the box breathing method. You breathe in for 4 seconds, out for 4 seconds, in for 4 seconds, out for 4 seconds.
It's holding.
Then rest.
Holding
Then
in
you do it
between.
again.
Don't you hold in between?
Yeah.
Okay.
4, 4, and 4. That's right. I messed
4,
up.
4, and 4.
In 4, hold for 4, out for 4. Or
Right.
some people even do different number variations.
Mhm.
Then there's the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. 5 things you see, 4 things you hear, 3 things you can touch, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can taste. You go through that whole thing. Like if you're doing 5, I am touching the table. I can touch this cord.
Right.
I can see you. I can see the microphone. I can see the flowers. If you see that someone's in distress, even if it's a kid having a tantrum, say, hey, let's do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make sure you have the conversation before you throw that on them, because then they're going to look at you like, what? You say, let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What are 5 things that you see right now?
Wow.
What are 4 things you can touch?
Right.
It's kind of like I see, I spy, but in a way where you are, and it takes their mind completely off of it. And the thought process in that moment believe it or not, it's very short. So if you distract them completely from a very impulsive thought at that moment, it's not that they won't go back to the thought, but it won't be as serious in that very moment. And they're going to know, wow, that snapped me out of it. Maybe I really don't feel that way wholeheartedly. Maybe I really don't want to hurt myself.
It actually interrupts the nervous system, so your
Exactly.
brain doesn't go back there. Yeah.
Correct.
So how you deal with your own personal health, your mental health, is that what you do? Or like how do you, I mean, I can imagine.
lot.
Yeah, I can imagine you must have a tremendous amount of stress and pressure on yourself dealing with this kind of stuff. I mean, I mean, is that what you do? Well, like, what do you personally do to deal with your cope with your men? I don't want to get too
No,
you know,
no,
if
no,
you mind talking about it.
No, I don't mind talking about it.
Because it
at
might
all.
help, you know.
Well, I have a lot of health issues too. I've been sick for a really long time. So I deal with that a lot. I'm in pain a lot. And that's another reason why I do what I do, because a lot of people who are in that situation are like me. They're sick. They feel hopeless. A doctor has put a time limit on their life. And, you know, they feel like, what's the point? Why am I going to continue to suffer if I'm dying in 2 months anyway? So, yes, I do grounding methods. I go to therapy once a week minimum, sometimes twice a week. If I'm having a distressing day or we have a really difficult case, depending on what it is, we have to do debriefing. So with debriefing, sometimes it's with the police. It all depends on what the situation was, if it was fatal or if it wasn't, what was involved, what method was involved. I'm sure, I mean, you know, if more serious methods are involved, it's much more lengthy process. But yeah, we have to debrief. We have to talk. We go to support groups. I'm going to be starting to run support groups. I'm getting my certification at the end of this month to be a bereavement facilitator, to do support groups in our area because we don't have very many. So I really want other people to join in on that. And all you have to do is get the certifications through the AFSP. And you were asking for resources before. That's the first one that I always tell people. American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, AFSP. And their website is afsp.org. There's Till Valhalla, that's for veterans. I work with them. There's the Scars Foundation. That's with Godsmack, Sully Erna with Godsmack. He started the Scars Foundation. And there was the Trevor Project, but unfortunately our government administration shut it down. So right now, all calls for that go to Canada, and then Canada reroutes them back to us. You can even just do healing conversations. I have a healing conversation certification where I talk to survivors who have lost. So you don't even have to, I mean, if you've experienced it, if you've lost someone, you can help in that way. We can all help each other. Everybody, we can help each other.
I like
That's
that.
part of the reason we started this.
That's why we started this. We
podcast, is
wanted
to bring
to
community
just
together.
have people start the conversation, let people get involved, let them so if somebody out there listening right now or goes back and listens and they are contemplating suicide, what would you say to them to keep them from doing that?
Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to reach out. You're not going to get in trouble. A lot of people think that. A lot of people think if I go to my brother or my friend who's a cop, they're going to arrest me. They're going to put me in a hospital. There's always that fear of
I would say
persecution.
that's a fear. Yeah.
It's huge. You know, they don't want to be put on a psych ward. And you know what? I don't blame them. I've been on one. They suck.
Yeah.
But if it's going to save your life and that's really where you need to be, then that's where you need to be. But that doesn't mean you're going to end up on a psych ward. If you're depressed and you feel like you want to end your life, that's not an automatic admission to a psych ward. It flags you for evaluation and then you go from there. And sometimes you don't even have to go that far. But just ask for help. Reach out to someone. That's why 988 is great, because it's completely anonymous.
Right.
You're not tracked. Nobody's going to show up at your front door. It's not like they're going to GPS track you and then you're screwed. No.
So the
Do it.
988 thing, they don't keep a
988.
log or anything like that.
No, it can be completely anonymous. You don't have to give a name, nothing.
Just somebody could talk to.
I just want to catch up here a little bit, Ryan. Ryan's grandfather committed suicide, and we're with you on that. I just wanted to say that because he said it was a tough ordeal with his family,
Yes.
and I feel for people who have gone through it.
Ryan, if you ever need to talk, just
yeah.
reach out.
And then Shannon, it's interesting. She said it seems like such a permanent decision for a temporary problem. It's tough when you're in that situation.
People get really pissed when you say that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I understand that a lot of people have that
mentality. It sounds like
mentality.
it's easy to say when you're not in it.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
it's one of those things that if you looked at it from an objective standpoint, it sounds like it could be. But I get both sides of the story there.
Think about how desperate somebody would have to be to check out from this life that they know what it is, to go somewhere they don't even know what's on the other side, really.
Yeah.
But,
That's why it's so impulsive at
desperation
that
of
Right.
moment. You're
But I
not
just-
thinking that.
I saw you have a tattoo that says the fire burns brighter inside than the
The fire inside burns brighter
But
than the fire around me.
fire around me. I was
All
just
of
trying
my-
to make sure.
Most of my tattoos
The
are committed to.
the fire inside me burns brighter than the fire around me. And I tell you, when I've been through some of the worst anxiety that, I talk to people who say, "Oh, I've had anxiety," and say, that's the chamomile tea anxiety, versus some of the anxiety that I've been through, which is just demonic.
Yeah.
And it hasn't
We
been.
reached out to Frankie that day.
Yeah, I didn't. The thing is, I have always been like Frankie got to the point, and I get to that point where I see everybody in my life, and I go, it's not so much that I'm worried about them missing me. It's more of them asking the question, "Why did you do that?
Right.
Why did you do?" And for them, they can ask that question because you're the one that's taking it out on the people that are around you in a way that is. Keeping that piece of you here. So it's tough. But again, being in that position, it's crazy.
It is, yeah.
It's just when I got to that point, and if there's something that I don't really tend to think I can offer anything that's going to solidify, somebody staying here. But I can say that it's that point where you go, my son, my daughters, I really wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to have them have that mark on them for any length of time.
Right.
Especially their life.
I always say that I would never want my children to feel that they weren't important enough for me to stay around for.
But I'm still with you. I'm still with you. If you're out there struggling, it's one of those things that people out there do care. And I would give you my number, and I'd do the same thing. And that'll come up in another show for sure.
Yeah.
You got people around that are willing to listen.
Absolutely.
And I think that music is another thing.
Huge. Music
that
is really big
I
for me.
have always, I would be going to work and I'd be feeling like garbage. And I would say, today, and for me, most of it is anxiety. And in that, it's a panic to the point where it's a burning building and I can't get out, and I'm 100 floors, and there's no way out. And unfortunately, we have a picture of the past where, you don't have a choice but to jump. But I also don't want to kill myself, so I'm stuck in that. And music.
Yeah.
Music is the thing that has
Distraction.
been, it's a distraction, but there's a certain amount of that harmonic vibration that takes over, that brings me back to a place that says, you know what, no matter how bad it is, there's something deeper and better than this, and I can work this out.
Absolutely. Gym
think
is a
it's-
big one.
was
Drawing, going to the gym.
Yeah.
Oh, the gym, yeah.
Drawing,
Right.
huge.
Yeah.
When I'm having a really bad day and I feel
Releases.
depressed, I'm at the gym. If I have to go 3 times a day, I go 3 times a day.
Wow.
Because the dopamine, the serotonin, everything that's released in the body is basically what they put in antidepressants.
I do believe that works without drugs. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely believe that.
One thing I can't do is stand in anybody's shoes and judge them for what they
Oh,
think
definitely
and what
not.
they're thinking.
That's a good point.
And so I can only say that the conversation needs to start.
It absolutely does. It has to.
Can I ask you? I know, we're not. Oh, we still. We were going to take a break. We never took. This needs to be said.
Yeah.
The walks and the marches. How does that enter into the picture as far as creating an awareness for somebody who doesn't actually partake? I know there's people. Do you think that the circle's getting bigger and there are people who are becoming more aware?
I do. I do think that the circle's getting bigger. However, so are the suicide rates. So it's kind of like, if you keep filling up the bathtub with water, but the drain is open,
Right.
it's never going to be correct.
Totally great analogy,
So-
unfortunately.
Yeah. So at the walks are absolutely amazing. You get colored beads for whatever your experience is. If you've attempted before, if you have a spouse that you lost, a child, a friend, different family member, if you've thought about it, if you suffer from mental health, they're all different colors, and you wear them, and that's how you identify each other. So say if you're wearing a blue and I'm wearing a blue, that means we both lost a child. So you're more likely to go up to that person, have a conversation, start a dialogue, and then other people come in. And it's that simple. It's just somebody starts the dialogue. Just start it.
Right.
Even if you're at work, if you're all at the break table, say, hey, you know what I was thinking today? I was having a hard day the other day, and I was thinking, maybe the world would be better without me because I feel like a burden. That's a huge one.
Yeah.
People feel like they're a burden to everyone around them, that the world would be better
Yes.
without them.
Right.
Just even if you're not feeling that, bring it up in a group of people. Feel the room. I've been feeling
it's
recently.
like a friend. It's like saying a friend of a friend.
Exactly.
A friend told me, or asking for a friend.
Right.
Is what I was reaching for. Yeah, that's actually
Find
a
little
great
ways,
idea.
Little seeds, plant little seeds. Like, we're here. I felt this. I heard about 988. I didn't know if all of you guys around, knew that if you were ever in trouble,
Right.
you can use
Right.
988 and ask for help.
That's beautiful.
We listened to a podcast the other day,
There
and they
you
were
go.
talking about it.
For real.
To bring that up.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think this is an important topic, and I have a deep well, which is actually a rabbit hole, and I think we have a lot of work to do as people. I'm talking about citizens. I'm talking about the people that are grassroots and those of us who are trying to see things get better. And I think that's what Frankie and I saw in the potential for this, was to look at self-empowering people again.
Yeah.
Because in a lot of cases, a lot of the reasons that drain, man, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole too far, but that drain is open and that tub is still filling because people are keeping it open.
Yep.
And that's just not right.
Right.
And for people to actually want to, step up and help other people, and it's out there. It's out there. We know it's out there.
Yep.
I mean, I know it's out there.
I think
But
if they feel that they're not alone,
Yeah.
Yes.
feel a sense of community.
If you're in a family, if you're in a community, your neighbor is your family. If they're not your true blood family, they're your family. We need to include everybody. We need to love everybody. We need to take care of everybody. We need to take everybody seriously. Don't judge them. Don't treat them badly because they're sad, and don't put someone down for that. That's just awful, first of all, and it makes me so mad. But it's dangerous. It's free to be kind. It's free. It's free to be kind and love one another and save each other.
And I just want to finish on this. The thing about that is where the society had been going in a direction of separating. Yeah, there's a lot of division today. I get that. But as people were separating and not wanting to talk and not even reaching over the fence to your neighbor, I think that has started to turn and come back. And that's why this kind of a conversation is more important to have right now, because I think this is a turning point.
Yep.
Right? It's a turning point. It's a point where people are starting to go back to that section where,
sorry.
okay. So there's,
I didn't want to stop
No,
you.
no. But you know what? I'm like, I can't chew gum and I can't rub my belly at the same time.
We want to keep the listeners involved.
No,
so like
absolutely.
The questions
That's
and stuff like that. So
Who was it? Catherine?
Kate, I think Caitlin
It says Catherine, doesn't it?
or Kathleen.
Can you call 988 for a person that you think is in trouble?
Yes. Anything having to do, even if you're just sad, even if you don't even feel like you want to hurt yourself.
If it's not
you're
for
just
you,
sad,
it's for somebody else.
Yep.
She's saying.
Yep. You can call it for
And how is
yourself
that?
or
So what
anybody
would
else.
happen? Like,
Right.
let's say I call. I feel like Frank's having a problem. I'm like, you know what? Let me just call because I'm concerned and I don't know how to approach Frank. So I call 988. What would they reach out to Frank?
Okay. Well, I'll walk you through it. So if I'm the one that takes that call and you say, "Hey, I'm worried that my friend is going to hurt himself," I would walk you through how to talk to them, but I would also ask you why you feel that way. Tell me all of the reasons that you think that. And then based on what you say is how I would then move forward to tell you, I think you need to get this person help immediately. Or, why don't you try to start the conversation with them? Or I'd tell you, call them and see if they're willing to talk to me, or call them and see if they're willing to talk to me through you, not directly, not on their phone, but, I ask you questions, you ask them, and then you can do it that way. There really are so many ways. So if anyone is thinking about it or knows someone, 988 is an amazing resource.
Yeah. I could just tell you, because if somebody said, I just thinking back, if somebody was to say something to me back then when I thought about that, I don't know if I would feel comfortable talking. And I'm not saying, I'm sure it's a very big barrier to break down, because obviously you care. If you're willing to call and say, "Hey, listen, I think my friend's about you." You obviously care about that person. I hope that they wouldn't take it personal, "Oh my God, why would you say that about me?" That's where I think we got to get that breakdown and listen, we're all people. We all have feelings. We have emotions. We have problems. Everyone's got to get off that high horse that think that "Oh, well, I'm too good for that." Because none of us are too good for that. It could happen to any single one of us. I've seen people. And I know people. I know a female friend of mine who jumped off a bridge in L.A. who was a very beautiful girl. She was young. She was, she did have some issues, but she had a good life too. It wasn't that bad, and I can't believe that she did that.
That's what most people say after it happens. How? Why?
Yeah.
Their life was so great. They seemed so happy.
And you want answers.
You're
You're like, man, I wish I could just talk to her for a minute to be like, what in the world went through your mind to do that? And what I always tell people when I ever think that they're going to do something bad like that, I try to explain to them. I did this program with youth before, and I talked to this one kid and I told him, I go, "Listen, man, eventually we're all going to die. It's inevitable. Whether it's going to be 50, 60, 70 in a car crash at 25, it's going to happen no matter what. So why not do what you can while you're alive? Just take advantage of every moment in every day that you have, because you're going to die no matter what. So just look at it like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to have to tough it out. But maybe you can change if you're alive. Right. You can't change anything once you're dead. Right. That's where I think it goes back to those people that jump off the bridge and then they're like, "Oh my God, I wish I didn't do that."
Right. That's kind of what what's her name was saying. Yeah.
Because
Shannon, as blunt as that is kind of the same thing you're saying.
Yeah.
And looking at it from a distance, it's like, man, I would just like to have spoke. And what isn't it the case? Where people always say, "I just would like to have spoken to them one more time to maybe make a difference if I could have." So
that
absolutely.
could make people mad though. Keeping that thought process going,
I know.
then it can put you in a dark place.
Yeah.
But
of course.
Don't try to
Yeah.
Don't try to pick it apart like a detective, because if you do, it's just going to turn into a week and then a month and then a year, and then you're going to start blaming yourself, because then you're going to start seeing things that you think that you actually saw but didn't see.
Yeah.
And then the mind can really mess you up sometimes.
Yeah.
Right.
So, it's good to talk about it. It's good to want to know. Just don't put a lot of guilt on yourself. And, it's definitely something hard to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm hoping that this at least reaches one person tonight that it hit home, and that you can call 988. You can text me if you know my phone. I'll give it to you, 845-702-5355. You can text me 8 minutes, and I'll get back to you. I will. I respond to every. I don't want to say every message because I might miss it. Sometimes Facebook message or people message me, and if we're not friends, I don't see it. It's like in a block thing or something like that until I go into those messages. Mm-hmm. But you can message me, or I can even connect you with your. Mm-hmm. Connect you.
Sorry.
All these mic. It's like as soon as you touch it, it sounds like there's something going on.
For the next show,
yeah, we got to fix
that.
Work
in progress is what I meant to say earlier.
Yeah, and the cameras. We have all these cameras that we have set up now for different angles, and somehow we didn't use any of them.
But you know what I think is most important,
Frank?
No. Well, let me tell you about the dialogue. The dialogue was great. Tom ask the question, and I know you already answered it, but he probably came in a little bit later.
It's
So
okay.
let's answer this for Tom, and I think the answer is clear. Will 988 keep the call confidential, or are they obligated to follow up with calls?
That's a hard question. Yes, it is anonymous. They're not going to know who you are, but they are going to want to know that you got help in some way. But a lot of times, if you're on the phone with someone that's really good at what they do, you're going to want to stay in contact with them. So you usually, hopefully, develop a trust with them, and you'll have an ongoing dialogue. If not, if it's something that you like, if it was my call, if I felt it was something out of my control, to protect them, yes, I would take the next steps and see what I had to do. But I wouldn't know who they are when they're calling. I would somehow have to get either permission from them to get their phone number to follow up with them. But if they hang up the phone, it's not like 911. It's not like they have your address and they're going to send the police if you call 911 and hang up.
In case you didn't know that, if you call 911, they have all your information
Immediately, like
Yeah.
that.
I got
So
a
don't
fellow
prank
who-
call 911, whatever.
A fellow just is mentioning a couple things here. He says, suicide, and you should have gotten in a little bit earlier, but that's all right because
all
we're
right.
going to have her back again.
And if you want to call in
But
too,
I do want to say this one thing.
Go ahead.
He's mentioning that suicide prevention isn't just about keeping people alive. It's about helping them want to live again, which I
Oh,
think
wow.
is actually
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
great statement.
that's a
Yep.
good statement.
And I just saw it and I was like, wow. So
That's solid. Who wrote that?
Oh, I'm sorry. That was Nicole. Thank you, Nicole, on that.
Nicole, thank you.
And she had a long thing to say, and near and dear to my heart. Thank you for doing this tonight. Yeah, and I'm sure there's a reason why. So yeah, and you're
I could tell
welcome.
you that 988 thing is big right now because I never heard that in my life,
Yeah.
and I'm sure that a lot of these listeners haven't either. So I mean, I'm happy that we got that.
Yeah,
and then a lot of this knowledge on what to do, what to look for, who to call, how to approach it, and you guys can go back and play this again if you wanted to watch it.
Yeah, and we're gonna have an upload to YouTube. This is gonna be on Facebook, but we're also having our own
ways.
channel on YouTube, and it is something because I forgot already. But it has to do with, if you look up Frankie Flowers, I'm sorry, Frankly Speaking, I think it's on there as that. And just find us. We're one of the 2 or 3 that are on there. I think Frankly Speaking 3 is who we are. But we'll keep you posted as we go along here. Yeah.
I'm going to post this 5 ways thing too. I'm going to take a picture of this and put it on there for
So
those.
is this a non-for-profit that?
AFSP is, yes, non-for-profit. And then there's the Lifesavers Guide. I brought a bunch of them for you to
Okay.
distribute if you want to. But that's like a wallet card. All you have to do is open it, and it will, if you have someone you're worried about, you literally open that, read it, and that will help you get through talking to somebody that you are worried about.
Really?
That's why it's called the Lifesavers Guide.
So let me just take a quick
what's
look
on
at this.
there?
If you open it up, it will
Oh,
it gives you
I didn't know
prompts
open.
on,
Oh, this is cool.
and it just fits right in your wallet like a credit card.
This is cool.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's
Oh,
awesome.
nice. So it gives a little list on to kind of keep you guided in the right direction.
Right.
Avoid debating debating the value of life, minimizing
Correct.
the problems. We have to do another show, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
'Cause
for sure.
There's
So-
bullying with kids. There's
Yeah.
internet bullying and what
Yeah.
happens with that.
Again, we talked about this, but it's okay to ask directly, and I think this is the same thing. I met up with a fellow who had some disabilities in Rossi's, and I talked to him for a while, and I asked him, what are you in for? And he knew, and it's kind of like the Matt Rife school, right? Where instead of leaving somebody out on the corner and looking at them and going, oh my gosh, I don't want to know, I'm going to help you, I'm going to walk you across the street, but I don't want to know anything about you. We had a great conversation. And I think that's a great point that there's somebody already hurting, and when you touch that spot, then somebody wants to actually let you in a little bit more.
And it's really, sometimes it's the simplest things. Like I even brought bracelets.
great.
If like you're walking down the street and you have a bracelet on that says it has something to do with suicide, or someone knows, a symbol on you, sometimes somebody will open up to you just because they know that you have experience, that you know about it.
Right.
As just a bracelet.
Yeah.
Something as simple as a bracelet can save someone's life.
So we all should be more informed.
We all have to definitely be more involved. I
And
mean,
understanding.
yeah, we're all human beings.
Yeah.
We have to be there
We
for each
all
other.
go through problems.
The sun is not going to save us from our depression. We have to help each other. it's not going to talk to us.
Yeah, that's one thing that my buddy Alex and I always say. I said it to him once, and I said the sun is going to come up tomorrow.
Yes.
So and whenever we're having a rough day or something like that, he goes, you know what? But the sun will come up tomorrow. So hopefully we will still be here for it.
Right.
And we will be here next Thursday as well.
Next Thursday. Frankly speaking.
Frankly speaking.
Once again. Wow,
But
this is
I just want to.
time.
Yeah.
Under the guise of an absolutely serious topic.
Emotional.
It's
yep.
great. It's cathartic.
Oh, yeah.
And it gets me. I mean, I had my.
We could
moments
talk about
early.
this like
We could keep
That's
till
why
3 in the
I do
morning.
this. That's why
I
I
know.
do what I do. 'Cause
I know.
it's-
But we want to wrap this up and want to thank you, Joanne, for coming out here
Thank you, guys.
today
Yeah,
and
that's
talking to
wonderful.
us. And if you wanted to reach out, is there a way they can reach you directly or the office, or how would that work if they
Well,
want?
in
somebody
order to get a hold of me, they usually it goes through like 988 or
988.
the crisis text line. But I'll give my phone number. I don't care. It's to save someone's life.
yeah,
It's 845-600-6008. Really easy to remember.
well, that's a good one. Yeah, so they can play
And
that back.
Bridget, I know you're probably listening. If you can just maybe put that in the comments and maybe pin it. I don't know. Can you do that?
And remember the 8 minutes.
It's also going to come through.
And the 8 minutes,
There it
yeah,
is.
Yep.
yeah, the 8 minutes. So we like that. So yeah,
Thanks, Denise.
if you're feeling, at all suicidal, depressed, or just need someone to talk to, you can reach out to that hotline. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to Joanne. I mean, I'd be honored, honestly, if somebody called me and told me that they were going through some issues. And, I'm busy and I got lots of things going on, but the last thing I ever want to do is be, the reason, I want to help the
Oh,
best
yeah.
that I can,
Yeah.
and I think that a lot of us want to help and people don't know how. Like how do you really know unless we talk about it? So
Right.
we
And
gotta-
anyone can become an advocate.
anyone.
Anyone.
That's
no matter
awesome.
what your background.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It just-
Colette,
And loved ones can call that number too
Yep.
to get support, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Denise.
Great.
And so a quick story is like I had a friend of mine whose son had killed himself while the family was home and everything like that. And I think that it opened my eyes up to paying attention to your children, and listening and trying to make sure. I mean, I'm sure teenagers, they go through, relationships and they think the world is coming to an end the teenage years are really tough for everybody with kids. But I think it's real important that, don't push off the conversation and talk about things. And
Right.
maybe you don't have to mention suicide, but hey, listen, it's going to be okay. Like, tell them about your past. Tell them
Right.
about
I was
things
just gonna
that
say
happened when you were a teenager.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, this girl broke up with me. I thought it was the
Yep.
end of the world. I mean, and now look, I met your mother and now we have you.
Yeah.
It's like I wouldn't have had all these things and I look at like prime example again, like myself, like I could have easily just ended it all. And now here we are talking about it, trying to help other people and helping other people. So
Yeah.
I think it's real important just to start the conversation, let people, let them know that you care. It's important we all tell each other we love each other.
Yeah. We all have to check on each other.
We got to check on each other before it's too late because, like I said, eventually it's all going to come to an end for all of us.
Yep.
So
And remember, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it isn't there.
that's a fact.
That's
That's a fact. That's what a lot of things in this world.
Yeah.
I think that you can't see it. It's not that. Yeah, that's another good one, man. I'm gonna have to go back and remember some of these.
Watch
Those
the
are-
show again.
Hey,
Yeah, some
Gina Sorcy sent 99 stars.
99.
You gotta love that.
Oh, that's nice, Gina.
Thank you, Gina.
Thank you, Gina.
Appreciate that.
We appreciate
Bridget,
Gina.
Catherine, Shannon. We've got Brooke. We got Nicole. We got Ryan. We've got a whole bunch of people. Colette. We've got Denise. We've got Catherine again. Donna Sinclair. Catherine was a big player today. Catherine was a big Bridget from the other room. Tom Martino. Sean. Nicole again. Boy, oh boy.
That's
Crazy.
awesome. Yeah, we
Lewis, and then I just wanted to know. I got one more. I just wanted to find him. TJ Gunny Timmons.
Oh, that's my boy.
There you go, Frankie baby, he gave you that. And Gina, thank you for for responding
we
back.
appreciate
Thank
anybody
you.
that-
Thank you for your support.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks, everybody. Really.
And we're gonna have some big topics, and if there's anything you'd like to hear or talk about,
There you go.
please reach out to us. You could send it an email to johnflowerscommunity@gmail.com, or you can reach out to either Frank Morasso or myself on social media. You can call. We want to hear from you because, look, I mean, I don't care what it's about. If it affects you, affects your family, affects the community, we need to talk about it. I mean, we're going to have a couple good shows. I got Antonio Mazzarelli. We're going to be talking about vaccines. And, I have some strong opinions myself on it and on how I feel. And there's some people that have strong opinions the opposite way. And look, I try to be respectful the most that I can. And I'm not telling anyone to do or not to do anything. I tell you what I like and what I do. And I mean, I think it's just important for everyone to do what they think is best for their child or their family. And, I don't want to get into the conversation too much because we'll end up talking till 9:30, and the Eagles are playing tonight. So I mean,
That's right.
Bridget's a big Eagles fan, and she turned like I even had to wear my sweatshirt today.
I saw that.
So
Surprised the TV's not already on in the other room.
Yeah. We happened to see last Sunday when they lost the first game, and it was horrible. It was a bad weekend for us, but we made it. We survived.
Are they getting a little lax on the tush push?
They didn't actually even do the tush push the whole game. I don't think they had any short
shorts?
gains. Yeah, no short like 1 yard gains. But I don't know. Frank, so I'm gonna wrap.
We have a tendency to, look, whether you consider it stirring the pot, I don't think we really want to take a stand per se. Yeah, we have some opinions, but I think the whole point is to get people talking instead of, hearing the same old, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're talking about. And then everybody walks a different way.
Yeah.
We want to try and get people to sit in the same room and, whether you're having a beer or dinging your bell or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, just be open minded and listen. And look, we're all can be wrong, right?
Just have respect
It's
for
hard
the
to say.
other's opinion. It doesn't
And
have
what's
to affect
usually-
your life. You could just respect somebody else for having a different opinion.
Right.
Agree to disagree.
It's usually somebody else stirring the pot that's getting everybody here all in a tizzy. And that's not us.
That's not what we want to do. We don't want to fight
Correct.
with you.
No tizzies.
We do
No
want to ask
tizzies.
some hard questions sometimes, and we want to get to the bottom of things, and we want to get some solutions, hopefully. And the one thing I want to make sure that I put out there, because I put out a lot of things about autism and vaccines and stuff. I want you to understand if your child does have autism, I don't want you to feel like you're the reason why. If you gave them the vaccine or you didn't give them, I don't want you to feel like, oh, well, you're saying that I'm a bad parent because my kid has autism. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, like, if you've been shafted and there was a way we could have stopped it or we can fix that, then that's what I want to get to the bottom
There's some
to.
solutions that are
That
coming
there's
up.
some solutions.
And they are.
And I think they
And
are.
somebody should be accountable for those.
And there
Right,
should be
which-
accountability. That's
There
that.
is.
And unfortunately, from what I see in this world, it seems like when you go up to a certain level, that there is no accountability.
No culpability.
There's none of it. I mean, you see all of these things all over the news now about this person did this one did that, and none of these people are in jail. But you go down to Dutchess County Jail, you got somebody that's in there
A ton of them.
for doing something that was like, affected him and one other person. This is
Intent
affecting
to sell.
millions or billions of people, and these people walk around doing like it's no big deal.
This money talks.
Yeah. And who holds them accountable? Like, if they're above the law, like, where do we?
There's many more of us that we can make a difference. We
But
really
I think,
can.
if we get together and our voices can start getting louder, I think that we can start changing some things. And I think that's what has to happen is we have to start, I saw a thing earlier. It says there is no more credible news. So we need to have individual podcasts, and we need to have individual news. We have to have our own, where it's like, this is the real story. I'm not going to tell you anything that's a lie. I don't care what anybody say. Hey, I'll give you $1 million to say this is good or whatever. That's not what's ever going to happen here, even though I don't think that will happen, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. And it's never going to happen here. I mean, we want to talk about real life, real stories, and really what's going on. And you can have your opinions and we can have ours.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we're all going to go home and go our separate ways. And that's
Still love each other.
and still love each other. Look, I got some friends that we battle. Like, Dan McRitchie. Like I see a lot of his posts. I know he sees mine, and we're probably like, ah. But I love Dan. I love Dan McRitchie. I mean, he's a great comedian, and he has a daughter that's going through a lot of issues herself. And it's like, I feel horrible. I mean, she's constantly, going to the doctors and stuff like that. But Dan is a great guy. Dan donates to us every Thanksgiving. He does food drives, and he is out here in the community. So like, I love listening to I listen and I watch his things, and I don't always agree with him. I don't
Greatest way
agree
to
with
learn
him.
is from each other.
Exactly. But you know what? There are a couple things where I'm like, you know what? Maybe that is something.
Well, I think everybody is coming from a good place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That place, that intrinsic, I think that I'm doing right for everybody by doing what I'm doing. I think is the key to the whole thing. Now all we need to do is kind of find some middle ground. I think we should do a show on identifying the BS. And I mean, it's almost like you just turn on the internet and you're going to find it. But there are certain posts, and nowadays with the level of AI and with everything that's going on, there's story after, and I can spot the story immediately. Usually if it says more and you get in, and the thing is like a mile
Or
long,
click
I'm
the
like,
link below.
no.
That's not real.
Oh yeah, no. Definitely don't.
comment.
I don't go to any of those.
Right.
But I have to click on the more to see how far she's going to go. And if I see something that's more than a paragraph or two, it's like, who's got the time to talk? No, you did that in chat, and it's a BS story. So and that to me is. It's comical to me, but there are so many people that are taken out there who are older and less informed. And that doesn't mean they're stupid. That just means that the people need to have a little bit of guidance in that whole situation.
Right.
But like you said earlier, like it's hard to even tell who's right now. And there's so much theater going on all over the place that it's even hard to tell who's who anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So
I've been a victim of fake news, believe me, myself.
News.
I had local reporters, they couldn't wait. I went through some stuff, and they immediately, on charges, they put it all out there before there's like and everything was based on one person's statement. Now, if you think about that, if you go down and make a statement about somebody and all of a sudden, and then that person gets arrested, now the news reporter takes that statement like it's a fact. So there's people out here that actually believe that statement without even having the other side or not even a conviction. So now, even if it gets thrown out of court, which everything that happened against me got thrown out of court, but yet someone had made a comment on somebody else's post about me saying, saying all these negative things about me. And I said, I don't even know who you are. How do you know me? And then she sends me a news article. I said, so you're basing who I am as a person off of that news article? I was like, because I could send you 500 news articles where it shows me doing good things.
Right.
So why don't you take that into accountability? So I know this is why I'm so passionate about this whole thing with the news, because me personally being attacked by local news reporters that here it is, I'm out here trying to be a community guy, right? My father was a huge role model for me, and I'm trying to follow in his footsteps the best I can. Am I a perfect man? By no means. Have I made mistakes in my life? 1,000%. We all have. We all can be looked at as complete jerk-offs, I mean, really. I mean,
maybe you could speak for yourself there, son. I'm personally not a jerk-off.
I know.
I'm not either, but I do have jerk-off moments.
Yeah,
definitely.
we've all done it, But when you know how hard it is when you sit there and I read something about myself so negative, and I'm thinking to myself, what am I doing all this for? Like here it is. I'm trying to live a good life. I'm trying to be a good person. And then this person's out here spreading this news that doesn't even know anything about me other than that news article. Nothing. Like I said, and I was like, tell me what my middle name is. And I'll tell you, it's John. I mean, it's simple as possible. You don't know my middle name, but yet you know everything about me. You know what my past is. Like you think I waited till I'm 50 years old to all of a sudden go out and be this horrible person? All these relationships, and I don't want to get too deep into it, but but I just say is like I am a victim of fake news, straight fake news. And I would tell you whether you like Donald Trump or you don't like him, and I've never been a big fan of Donald Trump, but I mean there's some things that I do like about him. The one thing that I love about him is the fake news comment. because
Yeah.
after it happened to me, it was like that did it for me. I was like, wow, that changed how I felt about that guy. You know, like I was like, man, that's good, because then I started paying attention. I'm like, wow, this is wild, because I'm watching Fox and I'm watching CNN,
Right.
and they look like two total different things going on
Right.
on the same story. I'm like, how is this
Well,
possible?
I would say one thing about that. There's even two sides that are playing against the middle too, because this side being at the level of media, and this side at the level of media. Once you step down from that, and you used to see a little bit more truth, and now that next level has kind of been infiltrated a little bit.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you.
It's
It is,
crazy.
Yeah.
and what I remember what I wanted to talk about very briefly was the fact that all of this, and I can't bring that. We'll bring it up at another time. The actual story, but the content and the when you turn 62, I forget the words. What's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
Oh shoot! You know me better than anybody. Context.
Context.
It goes
There you
down the
go.
street and then comes back. It's like, could you give me that word? Context.
It
Context.
happens to me.
So
all the
context.
time.
So people take like part of this is about absolutely fake news, but then it's oh no, he said that, but he didn't say it like that.
Right.
And that's just, oh my goodness, please, please. And that's part of, I think, what I'd love to have in this show is people bring your context, bring the context. You can bring the sayings, bring all the things that you want to do, all those epithets and everything. But let's see if we have to find the context.
Break it down.
Where it
break it
was,
down.
we'll be the ones to break it down for you,
Right.
because there's a lot of things that every side has said, and if we take it in the context it was originally said in,
Absolutely.
it changes the perspective completely.
Sure does.
So there was a
That's
time.
my final statement.
There was a time in this country where propaganda from other countries were allowed, and then there was a sitting president that changed that and allowed it in America. So propaganda with each other in this country is still allowed, and there's someone in Congress that's trying to change that back again. So that's why the news is spreading all these lies, because it's propaganda, and that's allowed. Wasn't allowed in this country.
It's a word that sounds way too sugar-coated, and that's the problem. Almost
It's
euphemistic
a
at
horrible
this point.
thing, propaganda. It's horrible. It
I
really
knew a
is.
friend who had a friend who was, before he even knew that there was propaganda, before all this crap was happening, his job was to create lies and stories to see if it would create momentum. That was his job.
That's wild. I mean, you hear that and you're like, there's no way, but it's real.
It is.
It's when you start, and it's like once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Right.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's when it starts getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And then you're like, wait a minute, where does it stop? I mean, like, what if all these things were created for us to feel and live a certain way? Where it's like all these things are changing. Like,
I want to sleep tonight. Come on.
I'm gonna
We're gonna
say,
You're
we're
going to
gonna
make my mind
for
go
this
all night
group,
long.
I'm saying for this group, we're gonna talk about it the next time.
Yeah.
We're not even sure, but we'll let you know during the week who's going to be on. Frankie, thank
we got
you.
a list of it. Yeah.
We thank Joanne for
Thank
coming.
you so much.
I just want to
Thank
say
you,
one
guys.
thing. If anybody has an event that they want for us to mention next week,
Yeah.
please leave us a note.
Where should they do that at?
They can do that on the feed or our
Yeah, how about that?
Facebook
Yeah,
page.
you can email it to johnflowerscommunity
go.
at gmail.com.
Yeah.
You can send in any events, or you can send it to
Me,
you can send it to Frank Morasso, or
you could send it to Monica if you'd like. One
Yeah.
of us will definitely get it.
we're gonna get this a little
locked down.
more organized so that way they
Yeah,
have
we'll
something
we'll have that by the next
like
by next week.
numbers and all that kind of stuff, so that way we can do it. We're trying to work it in there, but I hope you guys are enjoying what we're talking about, and we plan on talking about a lot more topics.
Hey, enjoy yourself, Monica,
have a great week.
Yeah.
and Joanne.
Everybody have an amazing week.
Enjoy yourself, folks. Take care and love the ones that you're with.
And we are frankly speaking.
So you're Frank,
And you're Frank.
and together we are Frankly Speaking.
Your party at the door, bring it open mind. Oh, mind. Pass Truths where we